veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
welcome in, welcome back, guys. This is our first premiere season of both sides of the pond, Love and Marriage, Huntsville, season 8, episode 1. Miss Iffy, how are you doing today?
I am very good, thank you. How are you, darling?
I am well. Yes, Monique, happy Sunday. Hey, LMV, I got both my moderators extraordinary. I am so blessed. We are so blessed. They're going to get your go ahead and get Miss Iffy's YouTube channel link, guys, for me, if you don't mind. It's so good to see both of you. What is the weather like where everyone is? Miss Iffy, what's the weather like there in the UK?
It's very nice. It's a nice evening. It's been nice and sunny, but we've got like rain as well this weekend happening. So yeah, we've got the best of both.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You know, it looked like, I think they're saying at 4 o'clock it's supposed to rain here, which is almost 4 o'clock now, but it looks like it's actually starting to clear up. So I am really excited about that because I'm going to go for a walk when we're finished here before we get ready for 6:30 p.m. for our Never Ever Met. That's coming up next at 6:30 p.m., guys. So stay tuned for that also. What have you guys been watching on the boob tube? Because I found this show, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in the next hour on Never Ever Met. I found this show over on Netflix called, it was just a wild chance. They say, oh, it's number 2 right now. I don't usually pay attention to that because if it's not really in my wheelhouse, but I guess they found out that I like British shows, right? So
Yeah.
There's this show called, what is that? Baby Reindeer. Have you seen that yet, Miss Iffy?
I haven't, but I heard a lot of review. There is a lot of review happening regarding of that show. We're talking about the man who's been stalked.
Yes, that's him, the bartender that's being stalked.
Yes. No, there's a lot of talk happening regarding of that because a lot of people found her Twitter account, so she's getting harassed and death threat.
Wait a minute, but it's not the actress. You saying the person in real life? They found her email account?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Oh my gosh! And
yes,
Ellen says it's hot.
It's really sad because what Netflix is a big company. What they should have done was to make sure, even though he said he didn't want anybody to get in touch with her or find her, but he wasn't responsible enough because he left all the tweets and everything on his page.
Oh my God, he left the actual tweets. Oh, what an idiot. In this day of doxing. Oh my God.
Yeah, so he hasn't taken all the measurement. He hasn't taken all the measurement to make sure she stayed anonymous.
Oh my goodness. He didn't do a good job at all. You know what? And I'm watching this show because I'm only like an episode and a half in, because I was actually even thinking about putting it up on my YouTube channel, just a quick little, like, there's only like, I think 7 episodes. I was thinking of doing like a quick recap by myself. I am loving this show so much because as a person who has had stalkers in my past, and I was talking to my other co-host on the next show, he's dealt with some stalkers. I think just about everybody in the modern era, men and women, but I never really had thought about a grown man being stalked until I saw this, and I said, wow, that's so crazy, because with him being a comedian, he had this website up and it had his email address on it, and that's how she found his email address and started emailing him.
Yeah, because it's obviously, I don't want to spoil it, but there are 2 things. There's her and then there's the other person. And it's funny how everybody found her, but he hasn't disclosed the information of the other guy in the industry. I want to spoil it for you. Watch it all.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know. Don't tell me, and don't tell and the viewers, because like I said, I'm thinking about, and if I do, I'll probably start it this week. I'll start putting up episode 1, and then maybe
Yeah,
episode 2. But yeah, I get the sense. Yeah, I do figure out, like, because by me being a storyteller, and by me, being a writer, and paying attention and watching so much television and have read so many novels, I see that there's something coming up because there's a scene that I saw, and as something that he said, I said, oh, okay, there's some things going on where he's having some what's the word, confusion about sexuality, or some fears surrounding his sexuality. And she kind of plays upon that. This lady, that the way the show is set up, she is a master manipulator. That's what it is.
yeah. No, she's definitely. I mean, I don't like to make excuses for people, especially a lot of people easily like to use mental stuff, but she's definitely not there if she talked to him and sent him that much of emails, and that is still been going on for a long time. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys, make sure you hit the like, make sure you share us out, and you subscribe to the channel. This is our first go round with Love and Marriage Huntsville. I know everybody's saying it's a very difficult show to recap, but we're going to take a couple of jabs at it. And I think we'll only get better and better. What do you think, Miss Iffy? We'll only get better and better each week we go round.
Oh, absolutely. And the show obviously is difficult to watch and recap for a lot of people because it involves their real life and it involves a lot of drama. But at least we are going to cover it based on what's happening and those people's experience and what they're facing and how they're dealing with their situations in each scene.
Exactly. That was a very good tip that she gave me, guys, before we went on the air. And I said, oh, that's brilliant. By the way, you guys have got to go over and check out Miss Iffy's on YouTube channel. What are you covering, or what have you been covering lately? Is there any 90-day fiance situations going on over on your channel, Miss
Um,
Iffy?
I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't done anything for a long time, but I am going to get back again and cover 90-Day Fiance, the Love in Paradise, which is
Yeah, you
absolutely
absolutely should. I just watched the first episode of that. I think it just started. That is actually kind of interesting this season. Like they got a lot going on over there.
yeah, very interesting. It's the first time I'm seeing a European woman in there as
Yes.
well, which is
Yes.
very interesting. I'm not sure how much the storyline is scripted, but it is ridiculous, and I cannot wait. I will be doing the first 3 episode review, and I believe that the 10th episode's out this weekend.
Oh, okay. So will you start that? You'll have that up maybe later
Yeah,
this week, you say? Okay. Okay,
yeah,
great.
definitely. Later this week, we'll do the first 2 episodes.
Oh, okay, great. Well, let us go ahead and get started. I've got some tickers for this whole situation, and we'll go with that. Let me get the first ticker up. So we open up this week's episode with Melody and her security team having a chat, and because Melody is obviously concerned, and I think she should be, because when you're dealing with someone like an ex that won't let you move forward with your life, they're always in your life, they're always trying to get you back, or they're always on social media trying to talk about you. I think that is a little bit stalkerish. That's kind of what made me think of that, what we were just talking about, baby reindeer. What were your thoughts about this scene with her and her security team?
I'm really glad to see that she finally realized that she has to take the next step to protect her family. What a lot of people don't realize is that there are people out there who are taking sides, and especially the fact that he's using online. And nowadays, there are people who are supporters, fans, whatever you want to call it, who be taking the situation to the next level and not realizing that this is a real life and there's family involved and it's her safety and her family's safety. So I'm really glad that she finally decided to go and to do something about it and protect herself. She's not just, a lot of people might think she's protecting herself from him, but she's actually protecting from the backlash she's facing.
Yes, that's true. Because what happens is when you're like a public figure, what can happen is it's just what you were just saying just a second ago about the lady from Baby Reindeer. The public will give backlash based upon how they feel, however the story was shown, whatever narrative was shown in the story. So they're either for or against someone. They feel like you're a villain, then they're against you. And that could mean people coming up to her home doing all kinds of things, throwing, whether something sort of kind of benign as throwing an egg on the window or egg on the house, to people taking it to a physical level and to a violent level.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's got the rights to make sure that she has that security in case anything happen. You know, there are stalkers happening in, whether they are his supporters, his fans, have her stalkers as well. She faces her own. So I'm really glad she decided to do that. It's not just that, it's just people posting letters to her house, you know, all sort of things when it comes to stalking and threats happens on all levels, especially the fact that based on their situation that they are online now and they've got a real, you know, case going on between them. So I think she did the right thing. It's probably her lawyers and her team's advice, and I'm glad she took that advice.
Yeah, because the thing that you don't want to ever say is woulda, coulda, shoulda. Like I woulda, I could afforded security, I could afforded some cameras, uh, but I didn't, and now something is happening. Like you said too, because she's responsible. Those kids, I believe she is the. I believe, now I may be mistaken. You guys, let me know down in the chat. Let me know down in the comment section. Is Melody the sole custodial parent of the 4 children that her and Martell had in their marriage? I don't know, but let's move forward to the next ticker. We've got Melody and Marcus, her brother Marcus, are discussing Martell, and that is a lot. So you go ahead and start. What did you think about her brother has come down from his city? I don't know if he's in Atlanta right now with his partner, but he came from wherever he lives at, which is apparently out of state. He came down to take care of her and to see about her, and also we're going to find out later to attend this special podcast event that she has with Carlos King. But he's there at the house. He's making her up breakfast, and he's being a great big brother. What did you think of this scene?
I absolutely loved seeing him there. I really,
Yes.
really appreciate the fact that he came down without her asking her. He realized that, you know, when the situation happened, she switched her phone off, and that as a brotherly, you know, somebody that you love, that you care, that he took the time to come and see her and to be there. Yeah, it was a great scene for me, I think, especially that he never got involved in their marriage like that, other than just being supportive brother. You know, I
Right.
appreciated it, seeing him that level.
Oh, okay. LMV says they have joint custody every other week. Yeah. Oh, okay. But Martell took her to court to get full custody, which is funny because later on in this week's episode, we see him saying just the opposite, that she wants to get full custody. So I don't know who to believe. I'm kind of a little bit twerking on that fence right now between the two of these people. But I don't know. There's some things that he does later on that makes me a little suspect of him.
I
Let's.
think,
What do you think? No, go ahead. What do you think?
personally, in the previous seasons, he actually did try to get full custody.
That's what I thought.
No, yes, he did. He did. I thought him and his side chick thought that they were going to play Kevin Hunter. And
The side chick. Who shall run the main nameless side chick, side dish?
yeah, honestly, he really thought he was going to do Kevin Hunter and eat off her plate. And she was like, no, it's not happening. Yeah, no, he did try it. This is the problem with Martell. He just constantly, he doesn't realize there's evidence on a TV show and that everything is there. But yeah, he tried and he failed.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to. Okay, like I said, I'm going to try to remain neutral. I'm going to try to remain neutral, but it's
Yeah,
so
no,
hard.
no.
Then in
And
the next scene, then okay, hold on. But then in the next scene, we see so like they're showing us this back and forth. They're doing, production is doing this back and forth because we see as we're talking, Marcus and Melody are talking. But then we fast forward, we flip over to Martell and his mom, and I can't recall if you know in the chat, drop down in the chat and tell me what is Martell's mom called because I call her my name for her is enabler. They're discussing this so-called text message that his mother actually has the audacity to actually really truly to believe in America that someone was arrested for text messages, that there was nothing threatening, that there was nothing else going on in the text message, and she's literally sitting up there just eating out of his hands like, oh my baby boy, I'm like ready for her to whip out her breast any minute and just start breastfeeding him again. Like she's such a coddler. What do you think about this, Miss Iffy?
honestly, with her, respect to her, she did her best raising her son, but she's definitely sugarcoating everything. I feel like she's breastfeeding her kid. It honestly is such a disappointing to see that she knows their case, she knows their history, and she knows that it's not the reason why he got arrested. There's a lot more to their situation, and we all know why he got arrested. It's to do with the
Revenge
video.
P.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Revenge
it's to
P.
do
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
video. It's to do with the
Mhm.
video, and
Mhm.
the fact that the mother, obviously, she does have social media. She does see everything, and she's
Mhm.
sitting there instead of having a serious. I was really disappointed with her. I expected her to have a serious conversation with him and to make him take accountability for his actions. But instead, she just sat there and was like, "Come here, I breastfeed you," like he's a 2-year-old.
I
Honestly,
I was saying, guys, I gotta let you guys in on a little inside chat that Miss Iffy and I was having. So obviously Miss Iffy is over in the UK. So they have a little bit different perspective, different culture. But I was saying to her that it is my opinion that in my opinion now that there are many black mothers that because they are don't have a husband, don't have a healthy sound relationship with a man, a boyfriend, a partner, that they turn their sons into both the husband and the boyfriend in some ways. Like I'm not saying in a physical sense, but in an emotional sense, they very much become very dependent. They share too much of their personal business with their sons. They're all in their son's business. Of course, we know that there's no girlfriend that is ever going to be good enough for their son because why? Because in the back of their mind, subconsciously, they want to be their son's gal. Now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but that's how I feel. That's in my opinion. What do you think? What do you think, Miss Iffy? Is that a thing over in the UK?
uh, in some cases it is, but I haven't seen it more often. Like I've seen with him and his mother. His mother sat there and said to him, "You only make a mistake. How is it a mistake that you had an affair and had a child on your wife?"
Yeah, she doesn't. She doesn't hold him accountable either. You're right.
No, she is absolutely like, "Hey, I no offense, even if he committed a crime where everybody's telling her he was wrong, I think she would stand next to him and say, 'You were right.'" She's the type of that what she's given us in that scene. That's exactly how she showed him. It's like, "Oh, it's all right, babe. You going and broke the leg. Come here." Instead of saying, "Look, you're a grown man now, and you have children, and your kids are gonna see these videos. Your kids are gonna see your actions. Your kids are gonna see every time you go live Instagram. What are you
Mm,
doing? Grow up." Uh,
exactly.
yeah,
Did
no,
you?
she's not.
I wanted to just give just a second. Ellen V wrote a very good point. She says that she believes that Martell was also raised by his grandmother too, and that Marlene may be overcompensating because she wasn't there as a mother for him when he was younger. That makes a lot of sense. That Ellen V makes a worlds of sense why she, like you said, overcompensates. We know that she has another son, and I'm not sure if he was incarcerated. I don't know if he's still out now and he's re-entered society. But she kind of struggles with her adult sons, it seems like. So I mean, and I'm not here to knock her. I'm not here to say that we don't all. I know I'm a parent of two adult children, a son and a daughter, and it's not easy to keep to raise them up, especially if you're a single mother, to raise them up, to give them all that they need, to point them in the right direction. And even then, it's always their choice. As adults, it's their choice whether they decide to go in the right direction or what you perceive to be the right direction for them. They're going to have their own ideas. They may have scuffles with the law. But Martell seemed like he had married a good woman, and Mel had this beautiful family starting out, but he just could not keep that peen in the pants. He just couldn't. Just
I
couldn't do it.
Yeah, I think also the mother, I understand as a mother that, maybe you weren't there and now you want to be there for him, but he passed that stage of her being there. Shouldn't she focus of becoming a good grandmother and setting an example of the mistakes she made with them by focusing on what's best for the grandchildren?
Yes. Yes, she should. I think at this point, we don't have to be, as you pointed out yourself, Miss Iffy, we don't have to be Team Martell or Team Melody. At this point, you've got 4 kids under the age of 18, well under the age of 18. All of the focus from the grandparents and the parents in co-parenting should be to give these 4 kids the best future, set them up with a good education, try to teach them right from wrong. But I feel like for me, I feel like that's kind of difficult for Martell to show anyone or teach anyone right from wrong, because we see a lot of justification on that he's doing with his mom, that it's all Mel's fault. Mel's coming after me. Mel's a big bully. Now, how in the heck you 6 foot whatever, got all these muscles and this tight clothes that you wear, and you're saying that this little woman is a bully to you? How is that possible, Martell? I just don't quite understand that.
And also, I just don't understand how's not, he can say, do you know what? Okay, with the courts set everything up, I'm going to be a bigger person now. Because what he doesn't realize is that every time he does something to her, he wants a reaction. And
Yes.
maybe and we're only human, right?
Yes.
If I'm going to keep on taking the high road all the time, one day I'm going to break down. And now he doesn't like the reaction that I feel like that he was always searching for. He got it, and it's backfiring on him, and now he's the victim in this
Exactly.
situation, based on these scenes and based on what I've watched in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why do you think, like, one thing I noticed about Martell too, he seems to, in this scene with his mother, who may possibly be enabling him in his covert narcissistic traits. One thing about him I'm looking at is that not only does he villainize Melody, his ex-wife, he also has a thing against what we know it's called a group of supportive fans called the Mellometers. He seems to blame them for everything. Like, just because they're on the internet and they make whatever observations about him, I wish some of these reality stars who are weak-minded and thin-skinned, I wish they would just stay off of Instagram. I wish they would just stay off of social media all the time, soaking in all this stuff and then whining about it. You wanted to be a public figure. You wanted to be a reality star. So you're going to have to either adjust the thickness of your skin, get off of social media, take a break, and realize that people are going to say whatever. They didn't even love Jesus Christ, my Lord. I mean, so if you're worried about somebody throwing stones, stay off of social media. You'll get over it.
But also, I think in general, what that's not just him, all these reality stars who does this, their behavior is that what they don't realize is that they don't realize the ones that agree with them, what they're doing to others. So he's keep on forgetting to put his like his shoes in somebody else's shoes. Like he's constantly saying, "This is what's happening to me. This is me," instead of realizing every time he goes live, it has a consequence on her as well, and his fans are going to her as well.
Wait a minute, say that last part again. His fans are going. Say again.
So what he doesn't realize, because he's saying people that who take her side are always, he's blaming everything on them. What he
Right.
doesn't realize is that the people that are on his corner, every time he goes live and says something, are going over to Mel and her team, are giving her abuse and everything else. So he's only looking at what's happening to him instead of realizing every time he does something, it has a consequence on both of them.
Yes. And those beautiful innocent little children.
Absolutely.
Those beautiful little innocent little children, they have to live with this. They have to hear this, because as this is playing out on social media and their friends at school, their parents are talking about it in front of their friends. Then the friends come to school and say, "Hey, we heard your dad got arrested, or we heard your mom was cheating on your dad, according to your father on this show." Like all of this back and forth, like it's
Yeah. And it's
very.
destroying his business. It's destroying a lot of what he's trying to do. He's saying, "I want to be a good father. I want to do this, do the right thing by stop reacting to everything
Yes.
and stay off social media unless you're going live to benefit for
Right.
whatever you're promoting."
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Whatever happened to this wine that I think he had a wine that he created? Like, if you focus more on what you need to do to get ahead, because here's a guy, the last time I checked, he was struggling trying to afford where he was living. But we're gonna move forward for this episode. Carlos calls Melody to talk about the podcast events coming up. He wants her to appear with him live, and it's going to be I think they're called the Raindrops for his Kingdom Rain production company. So you got the Raindrops, and then you got the Mellow Meters, as in melody, mellow meters. So they're going to be all gathering, and I think this is exciting. It's kind of changing the mood, because Melody is still talking to her brother, or was talking to her brother, about her ex Martell, but now Carlos King has called and changed the mood completely around. So fast forward, the next scene we're going to talk about is Stormy and Nell. What did you think about Stormy and Nell? They're chatting, but before we get to what's on the actual ticker, they started off by talking about Kiki has been in the blogs. So, what do you know about Kiki in the blogs talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville?
Honestly, I think this is just the storyline to
Ah,
yeah, I don't think there's any. I think it's just both. I mean, what I was really disappointed, this wasn't needed, but it was just a filler. Every year there is a lot of them that where somebody in a cast has leaked what has happened, which is normal. I'm not really sure. I mean, I really hope it's not true that she's blaming on her mum. That is kind of really sad if it's the truth. But yeah, I just didn't think the scene was needed.
Oh, my moderator, one of my moderator extraordinaires, has a point of view. Monique says the scene was to let us know that Kiki will never grace our screens again. Are you are you serious, Monique? Is that what that was for?
I
So
think
wait
I
a
might
minute.
agree.
You might agree.
I agree. I agree. I agree.
Oh, Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Because she did slap knock that water and splash it all over poor Letitia. That was an assault in itself. If you really want to be formal about it, that was a form of an assault. You did see Letitia's husband, Marceau, react to that. So that's a very good point. We may now let me put that back up again. That's funny. So we will never see Kiki grace our screen again. But wait a minute. But at the meantime, so we swapped out Kiki for Destiny. Now Destiny's back. We got Destiny. Like, I'm telling you something. I used to like Destiny, but Destiny, we're gonna get to it. We're coming up on it. We're gonna get to her ticker in a minute. But wait a minute. Hey, White Valentine, welcome in, welcome in. She says, simply a man envious of his wife's brains and likability. Yes, his cheating and smearing her to make her pay. Hadn't the idea that she has brains until recently. Yeah, she said the brains. That's a good point, White Valentine. We can see that Melody, like, I get her text messages from her company, her face a beauty company, right? I can't think of the name of it. I'm sorry. I'm just got so many things going on in my mind right now. But I get her flyers and her things and her text messages. I love her company, and I'm going to very soon, probably for my Mother's Day present to myself, I'm going to order some of that lemon drop. I've heard it's absolutely great for the skin. And, I'm a girl of a certain age, so I got to try to keep my skin, popping and glowing just like she does. Because Melody's skin, I'm watching this episode this week, her skin, what do you think, Miss Iffy? You got beautiful skin. Do you think Melody's skin is absolutely flawless?
Can I just say Melanie's beautiful and she's got beautiful skin, but can we just get rid of that bloody hair?
I don't know. I'm liking the hair. I'm liking the theme that she's following, a little bit of the Beyonce with the platinum blonde. But you liked it better when it was darker hue. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it suited her skin much better. I think much better. Yeah, I don't know what was going on Melanie's dressing in this. I mean, I liked her. We'll talk about it afterward and with the podcast live. But when she was talking to her brother, that whole thing that she was wearing, I was thinking, girl, who dressed you? Like,
okay, you didn't like the cut, the style that she had it in when she was talking to Marcus, right?
Yeah, and the clothes as well. I was like, come on, who dressed you? Like, you can do better. At least put a gown, just no. It was not my thing.
Ooh.
She's stunning, but that needed to go.
Oh, that's a great idea. Ellen, I love this, not to cut you off. Ellen says that I should reach out to her because you're right. She is, I've been in a few of her IG lives, and Melody is so gracious. She is so gracious to other content creators, and you are absolutely right. I will reach out to her. I will do that. Now that I'm covering this show. I stuck my toe in this big old pond, if you will, and we've got Miss Iffy over here sticking her foot in the pond. So let me go ahead and go to the next ticker.
Oh, can I ask you a question before we go next?
Yeah.
What did you think of that comment about Stormy getting her body done? Because I didn't notice nothing. So let's hope she doesn't record it.
I had to watch it again as I was watching it again to do the ticker notes. I thought the same thing you thought at first, but I said, now, you know what? I do not like, to be fair, I have fallen out with Stormy to a small degree. And so sometimes when I've fallen out with a person emotionally, I don't even care what they look like anymore. They could have a mop on their head. They could gain 200 pounds. I wouldn't notice the difference. So I was like, it wasn't until Nell said in the scene, she said, oh my God, when she walks into the daycare and into the, to Nell's office, she says, oh my God, you look so good. You transform, blah, blah, blah. And then they threw up the, the before and after shot. Yeah, but you know what I did notice though, there is because we didn't get to really see it on the one shot, but there seemed to be on the neck on the before shot, there was where she was quite, some extra rolls of subcutaneous fat, if you will, on her neck. So it does seem like she's trimmed down. She says she's been working out for 3 months. So I'm going to give her that. I thought she did look, I love the outfit. I'm going to say that. I did like Stormy's outfit, right?
Yeah, no, she's stunning. She's stunning, but I just didn't notice any different. I always thought she's stunning. She's a good person, got a bubbly personality, but I just didn't notice the
I'm
transformation.
so glad I have you here for balance because, like I said, I so do not like Stormy anymore. So you're gonna keep me in check because she, according to you, she is stunning. But I don't know about that part. But I just saw that the neck, and so that's a thing with us. A lot of times, like for me, like my fat gets trapped in my midsection, right? And so
Mm.
it's different for everybody, like it's just it can be different. So I agree with you. I agree with you there. But let's talk about okay, so Stormy and Nell are chatting about Martell's arrest. And of course, Nell kind of almost set me off. Like my blood pressure, I could feel it almost starting to spike. Nell says to Stormy, she says, well, I didn't think that was right. I don't think that she should have had him arrested. And when someone is the father of your children, I think, because I get this sometimes from some people I know in my community up here up north, and the north part of the United States. I think that's a very southern thing. I think that's a very I don't agree with it. Let me just say that. This is my opinion. I don't agree with this whole thing of basically the snitch culture, not to snitch, not to go to the police, not to report a crime. I think that the fact that he is ongoing continually for the last 4 or 5 years, picking with Melody, and this particular thing that apparently he sent her that cued her into the fact that he and maybe that side chick, side dish gal, that they were going to go and create an account and put up this video, this pornographic video with her allegedly, that was her and her husband at the time, but now they were going to make it seem as if she was having this relationship with another man. Like, who does that? What are your thoughts? I mean, I just want to vomit in my mouth. It's just so gross.
Uh, you see what many I don't okay, what many people don't understand is that when you're going through a divorce and you've been fighting with this person for many years and you finally settled everything in a court, for them to come back and to say that they want to use something that you guys did privately that could ruin your life, it's very, very serious. And I don't think people understand, unless you're in that shoes, how much you are afraid of that thing breaking yourself, the embarrassment you're facing. I mean, especially within our community in general,
Mm-hmm.
things like that is not normal to be able to make a video or to even talk about your
Yeah.
intimacy in that. So there's a big stigma of shame. And then now you are faced in a situation where somebody that you loved and you're married and you got kids threatening you to
Mm-hmm.
do this. It, you dealt with everything else. You're on your breaking point. It's only fair that you can only take a certain amount of things until you're back against the wall. And I think she did the right thing, because this was her way of saying enough is enough. And I'm
Yes,
going to fight back,
absolutely.
especially the fact that it involves with somebody else as well, which means that your ex-husband or husband at the time have compromised your privacy by sharing this video with
Right.
somebody else, which is not acceptable.
It's
And it is
not.
a crime.
It is a crime. It is a crime. And I understand from my understanding that down in Alabama, it's a very serious crime, up to and including perhaps a felony. Um, I think the fact that Martell is always able, he has a gift of gab. I'll say that. I will give him that. He has a gift of gab. Some people find him attractive, some people find him charismatic. Um, and with his gift of gab, he creates this narrative that, oh, yeah, she had me arrested for a text message that I sent her telling her to stop bullying me. And it was over a year ago. Well, the fact of the matter is, if I'm understanding the episode correctly, the fact of the matter is that she went to the police a year ago, back when he sent the text message. And here's what actually happened. So, because it's not a crime whereby he's actually published that video as of yet, or at that time back in September of last year or whatever. So they were able to put out a warrant for his arrest, but it was like a soft warrant. And so when he came into the station to do XYZ, whatever he's saying, he went to file papers or whatever in the office. And when he shows his identification, they tell him that he's under arrest. That is what can happen. You can have an arrest out for a warrant out for your arrest and not know it. I'm imagining, though, something is telling me deep inside of me. It's just my thought and my feeling at this moment is that they did send a letter, because what they will do typically is send a letter out. And they probably sent a letter out to his last known address to say that we do have a warrant for your arrest. You can come in peacefully with your attorney or not, by yourself, and you can answer these questions because we do have a warrant out for your arrest. So I think he knew that there was a warrant out. And this whole lie that he's fabricating is that it's just about a text message. Well, if that's the case, Martell, there are a whole lot of people in the United States that are going to be arrested over a text message. You know, it's more than that. Quit telling that fabrication, please.
Also, what I found that is when if the fact that he said he had the kids with him, why would you take your children with you to a police station, no matter what, especially they that young, to be able to go? And it's like, it's the last place that you want your child, take your child with you, even if it is just to get whatever innocent things. It's not, I wouldn't feel comfortable as a parent to go like, hey, let me go and run an errand at the police station while I've got my kids, especially when I have a mother and babysitter and everybody else. Come on, you wouldn't want.
Oh, right. I see. Oh, okay. I see your point. Right, because he could have dropped. Because his thing is that he's saying that he was picking the kids up from school and their sports and yada yada yada. But I see, to your point, you're right. It would have made more sense if he knew he was going to stop at the police station to drop them at his mother's. But that would be too much like right. That would be way too
Yeah,
much like right.
because
Um.
he tells
Mhm,
his mum when it
mhm.
happened. I had the he was saying it happened. I had to call my mum to come and get the kids and stuff. And I'm like, which story is it true that you had the kids? You went to go and this, but you know, why would you take the kids with you to go to the police station to go and get whatever you needed to get? Like, it's not acceptable to take your children, especially knowing that the fact that, you know, in a American black communities, the last thing that you want to do your child is, even if you're going to get a piece of paper, to take with you to the police station. Come on.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Um. Oh, wait a minute. He said that? I didn't hear that part. I didn't hear him say that. Why, Valentine? She's saying that he said he brought his kids to show them. Your mom got me arrested. What? That's crazy.
So
That
you
is.
might,
So
yeah,
he knew that he was going to be arrested, and he brought the kids. And that's what I'm saying. This is a man, and this is how you can say that these things are, and I'm not diagnosing him. I'm saying these are what appear to be covert narcissistic traits, though, because if you're going to involve your own little young children, bring them to a police station, and then holler about and whine and complain about, oh, you see, your mother, she had me arrested. She made me this, she made me that. But that's also a trait of a very abusive person, because isn't it just like an abuser to always say that you made me do this and that? You made me punch you in the face. You made me slap you. You made me curse you. Like, what? Where do they
yeah,
do that at?
absolutely.
But we got to get going on. Okay, so the next banner we've got Destiny. Speaking of Destiny, was that you? I'm trying to figure if Monique said the only person she liked was Destiny or Stormy. I don't know. I think it was
No,
Stormy.
no, no. She didn't say Destiny at all.
She
She's
said Stormy. Okay, okay. Well, anyway, we got Destiny. She's back, and I've always thought now, uh, face wise and looks wise. Now, I will say, I think Destiny is absolutely gorgeous. She's gorgeous. Anyway, we got Destiny goes to visit Letitia at her home, and she's talking. They sit down after a while. She observes the interior has been painted and there's some stuff going on, and Letitia is talking about how when their real house is ready, this is going to be their Airbnb, which I don't know, something about me says don't believe it, but whatever. But anyway, but Destiny is talking about how her former producer Sunny has went on to marry her ex-boyfriend Moses. What do you think? What do you make of that?
Okay, I just want to make something comment about Letitia. Every season they've got a new house. I mean, what are they running away from?
I don't know. I thought that was the house they left off with last season, but yeah, you're right. The house I thought they had for a few years. That's why I say there's something fine now. Anyway, let's get to the scene. Let's
Don't
get to
worry, I'm sure. I'm sure.
there's too much. I don't. There's too much I want to say, but let's get.
No,
Let's
no,
focus on. Let's focus on the scene. Okay, so we're talking
yeah.
about. We're talking basically about Sunny and Moses, and how Destiny is saying that. Well, if she wasn't a friend, she thought that they were at least friendly. She thought that they were in a place where, like let's say you and I, we're friends for 10 years or 5 years or 4 years or whatever. You're my producer. We're friendly, and then I have a man. I don't expect that when I break up with them that you're going to go and behind my back and you're going to start talking to him and end up married to him. But that tells me a couple of things. I mean, just not knowing these people, that tells me a couple of things. That tells me when she says that she was friends with Moses for 15 years, they never married. So that means that the two didn't really want each other like that. You weren't serious. And I think that you guys, sounds like to me, I don't know, but it sounds, drop down in the chat, drop down in the comments. Sounds to me like these two were just friends with benefits.
I'll be honest with you. Like one thing I didn't understand that she said she was friends with this person, the producer, Sonny, who's married Moses, right?
Yeah.
If
Hmm.
But at the same time, you're saying this was your producer, and correct me if I'm wrong. She's not been on a show consistently that long to be able to be building a friendship with her producer. It is an association
Mm.
relationship.
Oh, good point. Good point. Like a friend of the show, basically, right?
Yeah, she's not been long enough to say that she has any solid relationship with anybody, let alone her own producer.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
I mean, I'm
Well, now there was a part where Destiny, hold on a minute. There was a part, maybe does this help a little bit? There was a part where Destiny's talking to Letitia and she says that because this lady's a producer, she was also trying to produce her music career. So do you think that maybe they took whatever relationship they had on the show, they moved it off the show? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I totally understand, but based on my opinion of Destiny's track record,
Mm-hmm.
and unless I see a receipt, anything that she says goes one ear, comes out the another ear. She's just that type of person that you have to take it with a pinch of salt. Because I believe in that she never honestly go deep to talk about herself, her relationship. There is nothing, she's always on the surf level that I find. So I'm not sure how much I can believe, especially based on that scene. She
Mm-hmm.
just went "Da-da-da," and then never gave us any real emotion of how she feels situation, anything. She just goes on a surf level and just like next.
Mm.
She
Yeah.
hasn't shown me a real that this is what she's talking about is real and that really happened. She just loves throwing shades, like saying, "Oh, the producer said the Moses was a cousin." It's just never a proof of that she actually had a real relationship with this man either.
My problem with Destiny, and I'm gonna tell you something, Miss Iffy. My problem with Destiny has always been, and will stay until this day, until she changes it, has always been that she came on the show and she showed us absolutely nothing about her life. We don't know why she got divorced from her son's dad, her ex-husband. We don't know anything about that. So like, why are you on the show? Your intimate personal life is too personal to show on reality TV. You're not a good fit. You're not a good
Exactly.
fit.
Exactly. Everything about her, any of her storyline, is just the surf. There's nothing back up. There's no nothing. There's nothing absolutely says to me this is Destiny as a person. I know Destiny is there to shade people, enjoys, seeing other people being down based on what I watched. She gets kicked out of those things, loves stirring
Hmm.
the pots. That is what I see. But I
Yeah.
really don't know who she is as a person. And I really don't think I want to believe in this storyline.
Yeah, no, I'm struggling, but I'm here for it. I'm gonna say that. I'm here for it because I think it's fascinating that he's with you off and on for 15 years. And see, this is the very reason why I tell women, don't do that bull crap that men like to do to you where you're off and on again with them. That's a waste of your time. Trust and believe, because it's going to end up just like this. You're going to be with this guy and you're going to think in your heart, oh, we could have been so good together. You're going to wake up one day like that song. It's his wedding day. I forget who sang that song. It's his wedding day. Was that Regina Bell?
Honestly, I don't understand it. What many women don't understand that they thinking they can change a man, and
Exactly.
as soon as he leaves you, he's marrying the next chick within 6 months.
Exactly. Like, you've been with him, you've been struggling, you've been building him up, you've been helping him go back to school. Girl, please, what? Build a bear? No, ma'am. Build a ninja? No, ma'am.
And also, this is the other thing that I don't believe in anything that Destiny says. Destiny is saying that she's known this person and been with him on and off 15 years, or I don't know what her exact word, I'm just word phrasing it. But you've been married and had a kid within that last 15 years.
Right. That's the other part of it. That's why I say, like, to me, like, I don't do returns. I don't do like old boyfriends, like going back and forth. Just too many men out here. If you found that one and it didn't work, he found you, it didn't work. Move on. Keep it
Yeah.
moving. Keep it moving. Mm-mm. But the next thing about it, though, we're gonna move forward to the scene with Carlos and Melody. They co-host a podcast event together. I thought Melody looked so fabulous. Now, I don't know if this is the look that you didn't like or you did like. We're going to be in disagreement on this, but I thought Melody looked absolutely fabulous. I don't know how she walks in those 6-inch thin heels of hers, though.
She looks stunning. I mean, the suit could have been, I don't know, maybe it was last season, so when half color was in, but she looks stunning. Love the hair.
I loved it. I loved it. I thought that that Carlos gave her a great intro. She came out. They gave each other a warm, welcoming hug. They sat down and began to talk and really, really get into things. And so one of the things that they got into, uh, ooh, let's go here. And we're gonna just touch on this briefly. And we know we're on YouTube, so we have to be very careful of what we say. But what did you think about when a woman is not satisfied?
Listen, I loved it.
I got some stuff to say. If you don't, if it's too much for you, I got some stuff to say. Go
Go,
ahead.
you know what? It just reminded me of that song of when women had enough. It had enough. I can't remember who sang
Oh, R.
it.
Kelly. Is that an R. Kelly song? I think when a woman.
No,
No, it's not
is
R.
it
Kelly.
Angie? It was one of
Guys,
those.
help us out in the chat. Help us out in the
It,
comment section. What is she
honestly, it
talking
was
about?
it
When a
was one
woman's
of
had
those
enough.
R&B queens. That,
Oh, it's a lady that sings it.
yeah. It's when she had enough. It was, yeah. No, I absolutely loved it. I was here for it. I was like, hey, I understand. I experienced that.
I don't know what anybody is talking about because, well, I heard what she said, and I like that she went a little further into it. She said that there were some things that were enjoyable, but there were other things that were not. But what made sense to me, though, is because they got married when she was 22, 23 years old. She was a baby, and she said that she could count the number of boyfriends that she had and it was less than a handful. So here's a woman basically that has not experienced a lot of love making, and she gets with this man. And if Carlos, and I do believe that men and women and people are like this, so your personality goes a lot towards your love making. So, in other words, if you're selfish in every other area of your life, you are going to be selfish in bed.
Oh, 100%, 100%. I mean, I can only talk about my experience. That's 100% true.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if I ever
100%.
met a guy and he says, let's say, for example, give you an example that's totally out of the bedroom to going into the bedroom. If he's at home, I'm at his home and he's making something to cook, and he's not asking me, well, what are you allergic to? Do you like this? I mean, let's say he's just kind of getting to know me. Like, so do you like mushrooms, Aubrey? Do you not like mushrooms? Are you allergic to seafood, Aubrey? Are you not allergic, right? He's checking in with me as he's cooking. He's maybe saying, well, what spices? I typically put this on my shrimp, but do you like that better? He's checking in with me, right?
Yeah,
He's maybe fixed the plate and brought it to me if we're not eating family style at the table, right? He's doing things to make sure that I'm comfortable. If he's not doing those things on the date, if he's not doing all those things when you're dating, if he's not checking in on you, he doesn't care about how you feel, you try to tell him about your day, he doesn't listen, he doesn't remember anything, guess what?
he's not going to remember that. He's not going to do that in the intimacy
And
level either.
correct. That's what I say. And I don't understand how people don't see that, because every other part and facet of how he treats you is going to be related to, if you're going to go toward intimacy, it's going to be related to that, you
Yeah,
know.
no, that's an excellent point. But to be honest with you, I knew, you know, Martell likes to talk, but unfortunately, he doesn't have a good math skills when it comes to anywhere else of looking after his family or whatever else it is. I don't
Yeah.
think he believes in, and he's very, I, he says he's very old school. He reminds me of this new generation of men where
Mhm.
they think it's women's values at home and looking after things, but they don't realize, but also she's the provider, and that's just who he is. So I wasn't surprised.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I'm
I
glad,
see.
I'm glad, and I'm happy my girl, finally got her cherry popped, and now she knows what to look forward to.
Yeah, she did. She said, yeah. She said after they got divorced, she now has experienced what that the big O, what the big O is all about. I'm like, girl, yes. Come on over to this side. Come on over to this side, because the big O, girl.
Exactly.
Come
Explore.
on over to this side. We've got just two more, and then we're going to be wrapping this up. Let's see. So, in talking to Carlos, Carlos is explaining to us now at the podcast event that Martell went over on social media, I believe, maybe probably IG, and a couple things that he said that really stuck out that Carlos was very upset about. Carlos, he says, and Martell said on his post that Carlos asked him, Martell, to give Mel flowers. Carlos claims that no, that's not correct. Also, Martell says that he and Melody are actors.
Yeah,
Melody disclaims that. She says, no, we're not. We're on a reality show. We are not paid actors. We are real people living out our real lives, our ups and our downs on the screen for entertainment, for reality TV, but we are not actors. And then finally and last, they talked about Martell's arrest. And that was very poignant and actually quite sad, because the way Carlos phrased it is, did you ever think that you would marry this man in 2008, and then here in 2024, fast forward, that you would ever have to be dealing with this? And it was so sad to hear Melody say, no, you know what? I never in my lifetime would have believed that I would have wished that my children had been fathered by another man. That was sad.
Very, very sad. It was really emotional to see her talk about that and to be able to. I'm glad she finally. Well, she always said that she loved this man and she married for love and that she was.
Yeah, it wasn't like he was a millionaire or anything back when they were just getting out of college.
No, it's just, it was. I'm glad she expressed herself how she was feeling about everything, and that the fact that they, and I'm also glad that when he, first thing first, when he made that comment about the actors, I love how production replayed everything to back up that
Mm-hmm.
what Martell's saying is not true.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then last but not least, what did you think? I guess maybe we'll get a little bit more of them on next week's episode. What did you think of the final scene where actually Carlos brought out his producer, Sunny, and Sunny and Moses come out on the stage to greet both Carlos and Melody. What did you think of that? Like, I was shocked. It looked like Melody was a little surprised too.
Honestly, I know she's gonna get the blame by Destiny and everybody else, even though this had nothing to do with her, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was
Right.
here for it. I was
Me too. Me too.
honestly, I was here for it, and I'm glad that they're going to be a new addition and a new drama to the show. But I was here for
Yes.
it. I was like, yes, 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 yes. Please, let's hear, since Destiny's storyline is about them. I'm here for them to say their piece. I am so glad.
Yes. That
Yeah,
is absolutely it, because if we've got to deal with Destiny, if Destiny is going to be back on this show, she darn sure better have her own storyline. And if this is it, I'm looking forward to, we see scenes from next week where Sunny is telling someone, I'm assuming maybe it's Destiny, I was never the side chick, and she flashes the ring on her ring finger like, hey, I'm the wife. I know that's right, girl, because whoever he had before me, I's the missus now. You got to respect that. Bow down. Bow down.
yeah. No, I'm really, really happy that they did, and they're going to be a good new addition. Because if we have to deal with Destiny, I'm sorry,
Right.
and Phoebe's storylines, that's got nothing to do with her life other than drama, we might as well bring the receipt.
Bring the receipts. Bring the
Yeah.
receipts. That's all I'm
What,
saying.
do you know what I loved about the whole podcast is the fact that little mini me, Wendy Williams, Carlos, aka.
Oh, that is so funny. That little Carlos is a drama queen. King, isn't he?
Oh, I'm just gonna call him Little Wendy. Wendy Williams.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying, right? Like Wendy Williams. Yeah, I love her. I loved her show. I actually
Oh,
got to meet her when she was here in Detroit years ago. Oh my gosh, she was still with that old Kevin Hunter fellow back in the day. Yeah.
he's just like the he's just like little Wendy Williams, like the shades and the things and the receipts that he brings. I love it. But what I really liked is the fact that he got, when they were doing the podcast to start with, where he would brought Melanie, that the fact that he was like, "Oh, I know you didn't get to go to your prom for whatever reason," and then
Oh, I left that out. Thank you for bringing that up. Go ahead. Go ahead. She didn't get to go to
yeah,
her prom. Go ahead. Yeah,
it
he
was so
crowned her.
cute. I really liked it. That was very touching.
That was. I love the tiara. I want to know so desperately. I'm about to go on his IG page and DM him. I love that tiara. I'd love to have that tiara for my next birthday, right? That
Yeah,
was such a beautiful tiara. It was not cheap or chintzy looking. It was very regal. And then they even have the sash made up. Like that was cute. That was very thoughtful. That was very thoughtful of him. I like that too.
yeah, but
I
and I
def-
really loved that they had every bit. I wish they had all the cast at the show, but I understand why they couldn't have all of them there.
Yeah, I think it was a thing. Like one we did see Stormy in the audience. Stormy came, even though she said I think it was it Nell that said she wasn't gonna come because she didn't get an invitation, a direct invitation from Carlos. But I actually know of some content creators that were there in the front row for that. So I'm gonna have to go check on their page and I'll share that with you, okay?
Yeah.
But guys, we're gonna sign off because I got to get ready for the next podcast. Thank you so much, Miss Iffy. You'll be back next week, I'm hoping, and we'll see you and we'll continue on this journey of love and marriage, Huntsville. And
Yes,
guys,
guys.
definitely go over and check out. I've got it down on the bottom of the screen. It's also in the chat. Definitely click on those links and subscribe to Miss Iffy, her YouTube channel. Catch her over on Instagram. And she promises me that next week she will have her Instagram handle up on her there, on
Yeah,
the
no,
screen.
I'm gonna go live on my page with it next week, guys, and we're gonna finish this season, and we're here for it.
Definitely. We're looking forward to it. We are looking forward to it. So say goodbye and we're gonna
Bye, guys.
I can't even remember my own tagline, guys, but
We
see
see
y'all
you guys
later.
next week. We see you guys next week, and every Sunday at 8:30 p.m.
8:30 p.m. UK, which translates to about 3:30 Eastern Standard Time in the US. Okay, guys, we're out of here. Bye.
Bye.